My mother used to tell me that I was born already being an actor. I was delivered with a smile on my face. An exceptional case, as doctors admitted, and since the day of my birth I was treated like the one. I can still recall my first appearance on the stage playing Joseph in a nativity play at the age of 5.5. That was the moment my theatrical career really took off. Later I was chosen to the backhand of the pantomime horse in our school Christmas show. I was a success there, really, and it didn't really matter that the horse's seams came apart soon after our first entrance. I felt like being destined to be on stage, no matter what part of it. So I was given a job of stagehand for all future productions. You can make sure of my words by looking at the word stagehand, which consists of two words actually, which are stage, or my destiny, and hand, or something indispensable like any limb for a human body. In other words, everything kept telling me that stage won't be able to survive without me. And my drama teacher thought the same way. He failed to be persuaded in the opposite opinion, even by scenery falling over in the middle of an Italian light opera. On leaving school, I joined an amateur dramatic society full of enthusiasm but rather short on experience, technique and timing. For some years I was restricted to beat parts in sketches, satirical reviews, and one or two slapstick comedies. My finest hour came when I had to stand in for a member of the cast who had been taken ill and take the part of the villain in a Victorian melodrama. Even though I had only a very short rehearsal beforehand, I did great on stage. My performance outshone everything and everybody, and had lots of overacting and asides to the audience. The producer, a very slithery exemplar, however, suggested that I take up some less public hobby like pottery or rug making. Not deterred, I joined a repertory company as stage and costumes manager, also responsible for props and makeup. And I was a prompter as well. And I also saw myself as a playwright, so I kept writing scripts and trying to make them staged by the greatest directors. And there is no point to mention that most of them were rejected. The point is that one was accepted and performed, and I didn't care that it turned out to be the most terrible flop. In the end, the result was the only thing which really mattered for me. Still, I didn't do much acting, what left me disappointed in theatre, and when I turned 50 I began to accept that I had missed the moment when theatre and I took different paths at the crossroads of life. You can imagine my surprise and delight then, when some nights ago I learned that I had landed the title role in Shakespeare's classic play Macbeth with the Royal Shakespeare's Company. I couldn't believe my luck, but I had to while the dress rehearsal with co-stars Oliver and Glenda Jackson. And with the first night to follow, 10 curtain calls, bouquets, reviews the next day like smash hit, don't miss it, a box office winner, a newborn star is... that goddamn ringing sound in my ears, turn it off! I know I have to take these pills, I'll do it right now. I'm alright, don't you see? I'm just telling my friends a story of my life, and I don't care it is an imaginary one, do you? Alright, you need an explanation, I see. Remember the fact I've mentioned at the beginning of my story when the scenery fell over in the middle of an Italian light opera? I just have not mentioned the details. The main thing is that the scenery landed right on my head, putting the weight of 12 kilos not only on my body, but on my destiny as well. That's how I ended up here, the Medical Help Center for Mentally Traumatized, Silent Hill, State, Alabama. It was quite difficult for doctors to explain to me that I will never be able to return to theater or elsewhere due to the state of my mind. But I've made great progress accepting the fact that I am not mentally stable, so it leaves me the possibility to talk to you right now. So many years have passed, but I have always been dreaming of theater. I knew it was my destiny from the very beginning. I told you I was born with a smile on my face. In fact, I've never participated in real performances in the theatre, but I'm lucky to be an actor here. We have our own amateur dramatic society, and our cast consists of quite a number of people. We're responsible for scripts, costumes, makeup, dress rehearsals, so we're like kings and queens in our own kingdom. But most of all, I love classical plays staged by me. You know, in such a case, I am empowered to be a playwright and an actor simultaneously. I love to learn by heart long poems by Shakespeare or complicated prose by Russian writers like Dostoevsky and Gogol. Some doctors even say that it helps me to get through the symptoms of my illness, avoiding its critical flashes. Maybe it sounds hopelessly sad, but I'm not giving in. I never stop believing. I read a lot actually, it gives me so much food for thought. But still the best thing I can do in walls of the hospital remains dreaming. And I'm brave enough to reckon that I've already reached quite a good level in that. You know, keeping you fascinated by my story for such a period of time allows me to make such a conclusion. And I love it and enjoy it in all forms. I mean, creating something in your mind and going to sleep. And to prove my hope and end story in a positive way, I can remember the words of the greatest and the wisest magician of all times, Albus Dumbledore. Let us dream. In dreams we enter a world that's entirely our own. So try it, and believe me, you won't regret it.